Westworld is easily my favorite show to come out since Game of Thrones. All the actors are top notch, there are no boring episodes, and how awesome is it that there wasn't a bullshit cliffhanger at the end. Westworld Season 2 won't be coming back anytime soon, so I'm giving you the next best thing with 50 facts you didn't know about Westworld. 1. Game of Thrones and Westworld are constantly being compared to one another, being that they are HBO's top shows. But what you might not have known is that the two shows share the same composer of the opening title sequences. Ramin Djawadi is a German composer whose credits also include Iron Man, Pacific Rim, and Batman Begins, where he and Jonathan Nolan first met. 2. The attention to detail in Westworld is outstanding to say the least. Nothing is done on accident, and even seemingly unimportant scenes sometimes have amazing Easter eggs hidden away in them. Check out this scene from episode 6. They had already told us Ford's plan 4 episodes before it happened, but in such a way that nobody could have seen it coming. 3. It's no secret that big budget movies break the bank with price tags in the hundreds of millions, but until recently, most television shows cost a fraction of that. It has been reported that the series budget for the first season of Westworld hovered around $100 million, with a quarter being spent on the pilot episode. That's $25 million for 1 hour-long episode. 4. When Maeve gets on the monorail at the tail end of the season 1 finale, the telecom says,
"Thank you for visiting Westworld. The train will be departing in 15 minutes.
This is said at the 75-minute mark, with 15 minutes left in the episode and the first season. 5. With epic proportions and a storyline that is everybody on the edge of their seat, who better to co-create and direct the pilot than the brother of Christopher Nolan? Jonathan Nolan may be 6 years younger than the Batman director, but he has certainly proven his movie-making ability working closely with his older brother. Nolan wrote the short story that became Memento, as well as sharing screenwriting credit with Christopher on The Prestige, The Dark Knight Rises, and the 2014 epic Interstellar. 6. The Westworld producers played Grand Theft Auto as research in the lead up to the creation of the TV show. This comes as no surprise at all, as both Westworld and GTA have the same concept of being able to do whatever the hell you want once in the game. 7. Here's a great Easter egg for you guys. Ever seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Doesn't that sound an awful lot like Will and Ted's Excellent Adventure? But maybe that's just a coincidence, right? Well, in the movie, Keanu Reeves' character is actually named Ted Theodore Logan. Now tell me that's a coincidence. 8. Westworld's co-creator and director Jonathan Nolan has been very candid about how Westworld would have never happened if Game of Thrones wasn't around. The carnal depictions of lust and violence in Game of Thrones is said to have made it possible to explore a theme park in which people pay large sums of money to enact their darkest fantasies. Not only that, but Game of Thrones' vast, sweeping, cinematic, and visual style was probably more suited for the theater. Until HBO took a chance by putting it on the small screen in 2011, television audiences were not accustomed to such grand production value in a TV show. With Game of Thrones paving the way, Westworld was primed for development, and co-creators Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy went to work. 9. In Westworld, the piano player not only serves to set the tone, sometimes eerily present throughout each episode, but also provides some cool little Easter eggs, as some of the song selections are very familiar to viewers. From Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden, to No Surprises by Radiohead, and even the Rolling Stones classic Painted Black was playing as a backdrop to the massacre in town. 10. When the casting announcements came out, Miranda Otto was to play Teresa Cullen. Otto is more recently known for her portrayal of Allison Carr in Homeland, and due to that commitment, she was forced to withdraw from Westworld in July of 2015, leaving Teresa to be played by Sids Babak Knudsen, who did a fantastic job on the show, up until Bernard easily took her out. 11. Here's another detail you may have missed while watching the show. This right here confirms the fact that the phrase, "these violent delights have violent ends," was a voice command used to start the Wyatt narrative. 12. Tandy Newton all but steals the show as Maeve, the brothel madame who begins to question her reality and the world around her. Although Newton appreciates the level of craftsmanship put into her costumes, especially her corset, she once admitted, "I couldn't wait to get out of that fucking corset." Newton said that she was actually more comfortable in scenes where she was bearing all. When she was naked, Newton said everyone was really respectful and in awe of her bravery. 13. This is the real reason why security seemed to miss every shot that they took, badly.
To that end, the expansive access and oversight granted to QA will need to be reined in until a new, more principled team can be installed.
It's gonna leave us short-handed.
Oh, I can automate most of the park's safety protocols, Mr. Summit.
14. Back in September 2016, James Marsden, who plays Teddy Flood in the show, floated the idea that the show's creators have plans to continue Westworld for at least 5 seasons. The bad news is that the series producers have already indicated that Westworld Season 2 will not take place until 2018. 15. Remember the host that Sizemore built for his new narrative that Ford basically trashed? Well, in a later shot, we can see that Ford used those same hosts as slave labor to build his own new narrative. 16. Instead of being given the script at one time, actors in Westworld were given their lines bit by bit, so not even they knew how it was all going to end. 17. The actors have to strictly adhere to the script. Because they're in the dark as to what's going to happen, there isn't a lot of room for improvisation. But according to James Marsden, there isn't any need for it. He said, every line of dialogue, everything, from props sitting on the table to the color of the background player's hat, everything is by design. 18. In one of the episodes, we can see that Arnold's full name is Arnold Weber, but what you might not have known is that Arnold Weber is actually an anagram for Bernard Lowe. That's pretty damn cool. 19. Director James Cameron is a huge fan of the original Westworld movie. So much so, that the portrayal of robots in the movie inspired the Terminator films. In fact, James Cameron had actor Arnold Schwarzenegger watch Westworld prior to filming The Terminator and told him to model his performance on that of Yul Brynner, who played the malfunctioning robot known as the Gunslinger in the 1973 original. Arnold Schwarzenegger was in talks to star in a remake of the film in 2007 before that deal fell apart. 20. Speaking of Yul Brynner, here's the cameo he made in the Westworld TV show. 21. The note Teresa passed to Bernard read, Bernie. I love how she calls him Bernie. Okay, if you're going to stare at me like that during meetings, I'm going to have to ask you not to sit right across from me. A little hard to concentrate. See you tonight. Tess. 22. Most of the filming for Westworld occurred in different areas around California, including Universal Studios, Santa Clarita, and Newhall. The incredible panoramic views seen in the show are shot in parts of Utah and Arizona. 23. So it looks like Clementine finally got her wish.
I'm gonna get my family out of the desert. We're gonna go somewhere cold.
"24. If you didn't already know, Angela the host is actually Elon Musk's ex-wife in real life. They are currently going through their second divorce, but maybe third time's a charm, right? 25. Not really a fact, but here's the post-credit scene if you did not catch it. Like me. "26. The plot in Westworld was so complicated and intriguing that some of the actors started coming up with their own theories. In an interview in Singapore, James Marsden shared that he and Evan Rachel Wood talked about what they thought was going to happen as they received their scripts. James admitted that he gave up on the theories early, but Evan figured it all out mid-season. 27. On the other hand, the showrunners avoid fan theories at all costs because they don't want to read an idea that's better than what they're actually doing. They love all the theories, they just don't want to come face to face with ideas that are more creative than theirs. 28. The picture Logan showed to William of Juliet, the girl he was supposed to be marrying, is actually a stock photo of a girl in Times Square. 29. The Westworld Season 1 finale picked up 2.2 million viewers on HBO, and with replays and viewership on HBO Go and HBO Now added in, the total audience was 3.6 million. Westworld averaged 12 million viewers for all platforms for its first season, passing Game of Thrones to set a new HBO record. 30. Not really facts, but I had to put this in. 31. If only they knew.
Perfect is boring. I'm more interested in the bad guys.
"32. If you didn't already know, Luke Hemsworth plays Westworld Security Chief, Ashley Stubbs. 33. So if you go check out DelosIncorporated.com, there's some really interesting security footage on the website. As you can see, the actual date on the footage is June 15th, 2052. 34. This then means that the park opened 35 years ago in the year 2016. How crazy is that? 35. The original Westworld movie broke new ground in cinema by being the first film to use computer digitized images. The computerized effects were used to show the malfunctioning robot of the gunslinger's point of view. This was an extremely painful and tedious process back in 1973, as it took computer engineers 8 hours to produce each second of the gunslinger's pixelated point of view. 2 minutes of computerized animation took 9 months to complete and $200,000. 36. Here is the 20-point personality chart for hosts. You can see how much they went into detail with these charts, and even accounted for multiple attribute groups with even more personality traits. 37. The Man in Black rocks a Lamat 1861 revolver. It features a 9-shot cylinder with a single 20-gauge shotgun barrel. 38. If you didn't already know, both Felix and Sylvester are named after cartoon cats. Whether those names have any deeper meaning is lost to me, but I'm sure they chose those specific names for a reason. 39. Westworld is credited with coining the term computer virus to explain the robot malfunctions in the film. The term is used by the chief supervisor of the amusement park during a staff meeting where he likens the various malfunctions to a computer virus. Interestingly, the concept of computer viruses didn't become popular until the mid-1990s, when computer programmers who had seen the movie Westworld used it to describe computers that had been infiltrated and infected. 40. So just in case you didn't get the memo, it is 100% confirmed that there are multiple parks. 41. Only 3 years after the original Westworld debuted back in 1973, the official sequel called Future World came out and was received terribly. In 1980, a TV show called Beyond Westworld was released, but it too was received terribly and got cancelled after only 3 episodes. 42.
Shall we drink to the lady with the white shoes?
So I hope you will enjoy this last piece very much.
43. Westworld creator Michael Crichton also invented Jurassic Park. The man's definitely got a thing for terrifying amusement parks. 44. They gave us so many damn clues.
I shall have such revenges on you. Both.
45. Another one.
Ironically, your creations never shut up. They're always talking to each other, even when there are no guests around.
They're always trying to error correct. Make themselves more human. When they talk to each other, it's a way of practicing.
Is that what you're doing now? Practicing?
46. Michael Crichton was inspired to create Westworld after visiting Disneyland and going on the ride The Pirates of the Caribbean, where he saw the animatronic pirate characters and thought to himself, what would happen if these animatronic creations ran amok? Sitting down at his typewriter, Michael Crichton swapped out pirates for cowboys in a western-themed amusement park, and the rest is history. 47. Okay, this probably means nothing, but it is pretty intriguing how similar the Delos corporate map is to Dante's Inferno. 48. Wow, look at that attention to detail. 49. Both Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy love fan theories. In an interview, Nolan discussed Reddit and applauded them for coming up with theories that actually came true. He also divulged that he's been on the website for the better part of a decade. 50. The season finale of Westworld introduced the idea that Delos also operates other theme parks. We see a backstage area with samurai warriors, and it looks like we'll eventually encounter other worlds as well. Joy says that the fun and challenge of this show is that season upon season will only get more ambitious, and that they will ultimately encounter other worlds, it's just when and where it remains to be seen. Alright guys, thank you for watching my video. It would be great if you guys could leave a like and subscribe. And this next coming month, I'm going to be uploading a lot more videos since I have more time, so stay tuned.